Hello everybody, hello everybody. Giving a little bit of time for people to tune in. I am excited to be doing this. So we'll be starting in a little while. Hope everybody had a pretty good day today. I see some folk coming in, and I'm excited about that. Please invite folk to tune in. I'm excited to be here. As you can see, I'm in my office, so this is happening at the end of my day, but I feel energized, and hopefully something will be said that will be helpful to you all. I do have a confession to make. This is actually my very first Facebook Live. Yes, I must admit, this is my very first Facebook Live. And I'm not sure how long Facebook Live has been out, but due to not being that type of individual that kind of Facebook Lives when brushing my teeth and being somewhat a perfectionist, I've kind of stayed away from Facebook Live, but I'm glad that I finally have enough guts to do a Facebook Live, and I'm excited about what I will be doing. So as people are coming in, what I want you to do is, number one, I want you to like and share this video. Please like and share this video. Like and share this video. All right, Joey, history. Yes. Like and share this video, and if you don't mind, please let me know who you are, where you're coming in from. That will be helpful to me as well. I'm really hoping that this will be of some benefit to some individuals, and I look forward to your feedback when this is done. All right, so we're going to be getting started in a little while, just letting some folk kind of come in and share this video. All right, I see people coming in. I am excited. All right, so I'm not going to be on this video really long, but I want to share some things with you. As you can see, the title of this Facebook Live, well, actually the whole Facebook Live series is going to be called Kee Elements. And many of you, or too many of you, might be obvious why I'm calling it Kee Elements. My last name is Kee, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to kind of play off of my last name. It is pronounced exactly like K-E-Y, but it's spelled K-E-E. So in naming it Kee Elements, hopefully you'll get an understanding of what this particular Facebook Live is going to be about and what it's going to provide. If you think about a key is a means of access into, and what I hope Kee Elements is able to do is to be a means of access into insight around mental health, emotional health and wellness, because those items actually have impact on all aspects of our lives. And I think that we don't spend enough time talking about emotional health and wellness. So there are several reasons why I'm actually doing this series of videos. Number one is because I actually am qualified to do these types of videos. For many of you who may not know who I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I am a licensed clinical psychologist. That means that I have doctoral level training in the areas of mental health and wellness, and that alone gives me credibility to do what I'm actually doing. The second thing is that this is a passion of mine. This is something that I love to do. I sleep, eat, breathe mental health and wellness, emotional health and wellness, because I think it's something that is long past due in terms of addressing that in many communities. So I'm here with Kee Elements, and we're going to be talking about emotional health and wellness. Probably twice a month we're going to be doing this, and we're going to talk about all types of things as it relates to life, success, those good things. I have an MBA as well, so I like to talk on the intersection of spirituality, business, and psychology. So another reason why I wanted to do these videos is because I think it's important for a couple of communities that I am a part of. I'm part of the ethnic minority community, and I'm part of the faith-based community. And culturally speaking, these two communities don't talk a lot about mental health and wellness. And as a result, I feel like it creates barriers, it creates challenges for us to be able to do what we've been claiming we want to do in life. So it's dear to my heart. It's something that I love. It's something that I'm passionate about. And I hope that you feel this passion through this video. So we're going to get started. The title of this video is, Am I Crazy or Not? Am I crazy or not? Now, many of you, I'm sure, have run into people who have responded to you in whatever type of situation as if you are crazy. You've been through some experiences, you've had some circumstances, you've had some ways of thinking, some ways of feeling that have had you to go home and wonder to yourself, am I crazy for thinking that way? Am I crazy for acting that way? Am I crazy for feeling this way? So I thought it would be appropriate to name this video, this first video, Am I Crazy or What? And you'll see where we're going with this video in a little while. So the word crazy, the reason why I use the word crazy is because we often use that word in relation to addressing or the need to address mental health and wellness. As a clinical psychologist, many times clients come in and they admit to me, I wasn't going to come in and see you because I thought a person had to be crazy to come see a psychotherapist, crazy to come see a psychologist. So another reason why I'm doing these videos is because I think it's a perfect platform, a perfect opportunity for me to help to reduce the stigma that is attached to mental health and emotional health. It helps me to be able to normalize some things for some people because when it boils down to it at the end of the day, what I want people to realize is that they are human, experiencing human emotions, experiencing human reactions, and that they should not pathologize every negative feeling, every bad feeling that they have. So this is serving as a platform to reduce the stigma around mental health and emotional health and wellness. So I want to talk about this idea of being crazy. I want to talk about whether or not you should be even using that label, because labels are powerful, words are powerful, and if we're not careful, if we continue to call ourselves something, then we're going to begin to believe that as well. And once we believe something, it's difficult to shake that. So with that being said, a lot of times we don't like to talk about our past, especially individuals from the faith-based community. We are taught, we are preached to, we are encouraged to let go of our past. Don't talk about our past. Release your past. But as a clinical psychologist, a lot of the work that I do has to do with me digging really deeply into an individual's past, because what I know as a clinical psychologist is that the past is very much associated with and attached to how a person acts in the present. In other words, the early life experiences that you have, the interactions that you have with individuals that you love, who have cared for you, who have raised you, who have taught you, those experiences still have an impact on you today. And a lot of the responses and reactions that you have, they're kind of automatic, not realizing that there are mental and emotional frameworks that have been created, developed, and maintained, and that are actually rigidly in place right now because of the interactions that you had growing up in your formative years. So let's talk about that a little bit, because these mental, emotional frameworks, they are built up because of the interactions that we have with people early on in our life. They become rigidly in place, and actually that framework is the framework through which we interpret the world around us. It's the framework through which we interpret the outside interactions that we have in every situation that we have in life. So it's important to understand that these frameworks are developed, that they're at work, that we have them, that they're rigidly in place, and that they impact or influence how we behave, how we feel, and how we think. And these frameworks, unfortunately, they can be unhealthy. These frameworks can be healthy, and they can be anything in between. But we need to be aware of the health of those frameworks. Think about this for a moment. If you were raised in a home with a mom and dad that kind of painted the world as a dangerous place, you know, that mom that constantly worries, that dad that might have gone through something in his childhood that is constantly worried about you going places and being places by yourself. The parents have, in their effort to protect the child, has actually painted the world as a dangerous place. And now you grow up with this specific vulnerability and anxiety about doing anything that's kind of out of the norm of what's expected for you. And people who have grown up in homes where parents paint the world as a dangerous place, they tend to be afraid to explore. They tend to be afraid to try. They tend to be afraid to think for themselves about what they want to do and how they want to do it. And they don't even realize that this is happening. They are presented with opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and they turn down, or actually what we call foreclose on opportunities in their life, because the world is out to get me. The world is out to hurt me. The world is a dangerous place. And if I don't protect myself and guard myself and watch my back and be super vigilant, then somebody's going to take advantage of me. Now just think about this person in their teenage years, in their 20s. What kind of relationship will this person eventually get into? Or who will this person be willing to trust in their life and allow themselves to be vulnerable to in order to build a relationship? It will be difficult for this person to navigate social contexts, navigate relationships, navigate the work world, navigate their workplace, navigate friendships, because they are constantly thinking that somebody is out to get them. So that's how frameworks work. They are rigidly in place, and the interactions that we have with people, we interpret what those interactions mean and what they mean for us through that lens. And we can interpret it in a negative way, in a faulty way, which makes us believe it and react in a certain way, or it will cause us to kind of challenge the interpretation and not make assumptions and get to know the context, or get a little bit more information about the context in order to make a clearer decision. So these frameworks are present. These are our early life experiences that impact how we function today. Now, why is this important? Why am I even talking about the past? Why am I talking about early life experiences? Why am I talking about the interactions that we have with people in our past? It's because those frameworks influence our present. They are associated, directly associated with how we are right now. There are some relationships that have gone bad because of how you are right now. There are some jobs that you have not been able to get or been able to keep because of how you are right now. There are some things that you have tried to do but have not been able to see success in because of how you are right now. So the problem is that these frameworks, although they're there, they can be unhealthy. Very unhealthy. And on the other hand, they can be healthy, and anywhere in between. So it's important, because as we have these social media platforms, everybody is claiming their fame. Everybody's claiming their grasp on success. And I don't think that there's any person in this world who doesn't want to be successful. So we speak it out of our mouth. I want to be a success. I want to be a billionaire, a millionaire, those types of things. I want a banging business. I want wealth. I want health. I want a great romantic relationship or marriage. I want a powerful ministry. I want to work with all types of people. I want the finer things in life, or I even want to move on in life. All of these things are good, but going back to those frameworks, if we do not address the structure of our mental and emotional frameworks, those things that we speak out, we will never be able to achieve. We will never be able to achieve. And I have to take a sidebar right here and talk to my faith-based community, because we have been trained, we have been indoctrinated to believe that if we just speak it, it's going to happen automatically. If I open up my mouth and say it, I'm going to see it. I'm going to say it until I see it. We have that name it, claim it theology and mentality that although there is some truth to it, we need to understand that it takes more than just naming it and claiming it. It takes more than just declaring it and decreeing it. Now, some of y'all might not like me about this, but it's the truth. I believe in God. I believe in the power of our words. I believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue. But I also realize that it's going to have to take me doing something in agreement with my declaration in order for me to see the manifestation of what I've declared. James said it. He said, faith without works is dead. So faith will enable you to speak, but if you don't have the works or the ability to partner with God over what you're declaring, then you're going to find yourself set up over and over and over again for disappointment. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help my community. I'm here to help the faith-based community to understand that it's all right to speak. It's all right to declare. It's all right to decree. But you have to understand that there are potential barriers and challenges to you achieving your goals and seeing the manifestation of what you declared if you are not aware of how healthy or unhealthy your mental and emotional frameworks are in terms of how you interpret interaction. For instance, you could be someone who's an awesome preacher, but if every time you step into a church and somebody looks at you the wrong way and you interpret that as them not liking you or rejecting you or not wanting to hear your word, that's going to impact how you interact with that person. And if you don't like that person, I'm crazy enough to believe that it's difficult to minister effectively to people that you don't like. But what gave you the idea that that person's look meant that they were rejecting you or not liking you? It's because there was something in your past. There was a look in your past that somebody gave you that indicated that they didn't like you or rejected you, and you have made a sweeping generalization that everybody that makes that look is rejecting you. Everybody that makes that look is not receiving you. And these are the issues that even pastors have to constantly deal with, trying to help people understand that that person wasn't looking at you for that reason. That person wasn't treating you bad for any reason. That person didn't say anything, say that to you to make you feel bad. It's because the individuals are not realizing that their past has become their present. That's what's happening. Your past is becoming your present. So if you don't address the past, if you're not acknowledging the past, if you have thrown the past away in faith, thinking that it doesn't have any impact, influence on you, you are going to be up for a big surprise. Yes. So we're talking about the barriers and the challenges. So I'm not going to be long with this, but hopefully you'll understand a little bit about frameworks. You'll understand a little bit about the mental and the emotional aspect of what needs to be in place in order for you to be successful. And you need to realize that there's an association between what you have experienced, whether it had been good, whether it had been bad, whether it has been traumatic, whether it has been exciting. All of those things are what help us to build up what we interpret the world through. Now, you may say to yourself, well, what happens now that you're talking and you're saying that my mental emotional framework is faulty or it's bad. I'm not thinking right. I'm not feeling right. And because of that, I'm not reacting or responding or behaving right. What do I need to do? Well, I have good news for you. Actually, those frameworks that have been built up, and it takes years to build those frameworks up, those same frameworks can be broken down. They can be broken down. They can be torn down. And as a clinical psychologist, that's part of my job. My job is to work sometimes very long term with people to help them to identify the structure of their mental emotional frameworks and to help to tear it down, to bring it down. Side note again, for those of us who are preachers, it's really important for us to be cognizant of what we preach and the approach that we take when we preach, because what people need today is not a feel-good message. They don't need the jump, the shout, but they need somebody who is skilled to be able to challenge their minds and to be able to help them to identify the structure of their mental and emotional frameworks so that they can be recipients of the blessings of the kingdom of God. The reason why people are disillusioned today and not receiving the blessings that they have twisted for and spun for and jumped up for and ran around the church for is because we have failed to really challenge their psyche. We have failed to challenge their mind. We have failed to help them to understand that there is a faulty framework through which you interpret the world. And because of that, although you're doing all of the right things in terms of declaring, you are unable to overcome the challenges and the barriers that your past history constantly presents for you. So what needs to happen is there needs to be a breakdown, a tearing down of those emotional mental frameworks. And then, of course, you can't tear something down and not be able to build it back up again. So as a psychologist, my job is to rebuild a person's framework, help them to rebuild their framework in a healthy way so that as they navigate the world, as they interact with people, as they interpret outward stimulus, they will be able to do it in a healthy way, and they will be able to move forward on the things that they love to do. So what is the key element tonight? And I'm using the word K-E-Y, the key element, the important element, the means to access to the success that you're looking for. The first thing I want you all to do is to stop saying that you're crazy. Stop allowing people to put that label on you. Stop allowing the stigma that society has placed on addressing mental health and emotional health and wellness keep you from getting the help that you need. You need to stop saying I'm crazy. The question is, am I crazy or what? You can say I'm not crazy. I am the or what. And when you say that you're the or what, that leaves an opportunity open for you to engage in self-awareness. And that's the the first key element in this whole series that I want to give you. You need to become more self-aware. Self-awareness will enable us to be able to catch when our stuff is coming up in whatever interactions or situations we might be in. It's terrible when we go to churches and we see preachers who are preaching and they don't realize. As a psychologist, I sit in the audience and they're not realizing when their own stuff is coming up and being preached across a pulpit. It's terrible when I work with couples and they're in my office and they're having difficulty staying together and don't feel like the relationship is going to work because each individual is completely unaware when it comes to their stuff coming up in the relationship. There are some people who are married, who are together, whose stuff triggers the other person, and they don't even realize that the other person's stuff is triggering what's inside of them because of their past. So I think that success rides on each individual's ability to increase self-awareness. And you might ask, hey, what in the world do I do in order to increase self-awareness? For the first thing that you need to do, and this might hurt some people, is you need to get rid of people who are around you for ulterior motives. I'm going to say that now. In this age of pursuing success, there are some people who will give you flattering words and tell you what you want to hear just for your support in return. I see it too often. Your stuff could be totally wrong, totally bad, totally in need of improvement, but you got people around you that are telling you what you want to hear because they just want you to be able to say some good things or promote what they're doing. You have to get rid of those individuals. Cut them off. Be honest. You need truthful friends around you. People who are going to tell you, hey, I like what you got going on there, but it could definitely stand some improvement. I need you to work in silence. Don't market this yet. Don't put this out there yet. Don't speak on this yet. Don't advertise this yet, because it can be improved so much more. You need those people around you. The second thing is you need to be open to constructive feedback. And I think that we are living in a defensive age where people can't stand for other folk to give them or provide them feedback that can be constructive. We have gone hater crazy. Everybody's hating on us. And I'm here to dispel that myth. Everybody is not hating on you, because a lot of what we have to offer is not hate worthy. And that's the honest truth. It's not hate worthy. So we need to understand that we need to be open to feedback, and that there are genuine people that want to see you grow, want to see you improve, want to see you be successful. They want to see that for you, but they won't come and tell you what they think, because the moment they speak to you, you're going to put up a wall. And guess what? That's that faulty framework being activated. The third thing is that you may need to talk with someone. And of course, I'm going to push this because I'm a clinical psychologist, but I'm also a licensed minister. I'm an individual who helps people. And there are people who have gone to pastors. And pastors, this is nothing against you. I love you. I have a pastor. I love my pastor. But a lot of times pastors have been everything to everybody, and that has forced them to work outside of their scope of expertise. And the pastor is not able to help them where the psychological and the emotional are concerned. You need to go seek out a professional. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a psychologist, because that individual has been specifically trained to help you overcome the barriers and challenges that you're experiencing that keeps you from achieving the success that you want to see. And last but not least, and this is probably the most difficult one, you need to be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself. Social media has made it easy for us to be whoever we want to be behind the screen. If you dig a little deeper in some of these people's lives, what you see on Facebook, what you see on Instagram, what you see on LinkedIn, what you see on Twitter, all the flyers you see, all the businesses you see, all the LLCs you see, if you dig a little deeper, you will find that none of that really exists, or at least not to the extent they are advertising it. It's because society has made us to feel that it's necessary for us to meet other people's expectation and to manage people's impression of us. You need to get rid of that. If I were speaking the faith-based language, I would say you need to be delivered from other people's opinions. So you need to be honest with yourself. Where are you now? Where are you now? How are you now? You need to have content on yourself. You need to be able to study yourself, because without the content about who you are and how you are, you will never be able to come up with the strategies necessary to produce the change that's going to lead to success in your life. The Bible tells husbands to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. It is difficult for you to live peaceably with the person you say you love if you have not studied them. And some of us are having difficulty living peaceably with ourselves because, yes, you ought to have a healthy relationship with yourself because we don't know ourselves. We know what people have told us. We know what people expect of us. We know who we would like to be, but we've never taken the time to get to know ourselves, get to know what makes you tick, get to know what makes you sad, happy, what makes you angry, frustrated. All of that information is content that you can use to develop strategies for success in your life. So before you go get that business coach, you need to do these 4 things because that will help to tear down the faulty framework and will help you to build up a healthier framework. Once again, am I crazy or what? I'm here to tell you, you are not crazy. Let me be the one to decide whether or not you're crazy. And based upon my experience, my 11 plus years of working with people in a therapeutic setting, my 5 degrees, my doctoral level education, let me be the first to say, you are not crazy. You are the or what. And all you need to do is improve your self-awareness, and you will begin to be on the road to success for anything that you allow to come out of your mouth and to declare. So I hope you've enjoyed this Facebook Live. I am finishing because I know that research says that you only get about 17 minutes of what a person says anyway. So I'm going to let you go. I hope this was helpful. In 2 weeks, actually, I believe it's February 26th, I am going to be back with another Kee Elements Facebook Live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And the topic that we're going to be talking about is, I named it, I Am Hearing Voices. We're going to be talking about that. So I don't want you to think that I'm going to tell you that you're schizophrenic or psychotic, but I want you to tune in, invite your friends, and let's talk a little bit about that topic, and you'll see where I'm going then. I want you also to go to my website. I have a new website. It is www.drrk2.com. That's www.drrk2.com. You can follow me on all of my social media. You can see my blogs. You'll be able to see these videos if you don't catch it live, and you don't catch it in the rerun of it or the replay of it. I will be posting these videos on my website as well for you to review at your leisure. So I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, this is my very first Facebook Live. I was both excited and a little bit nervous as well, but I hope I got my point across. We need to engage in healthier mental and emotional wellness and health, and that's going to lead to the success that you're looking for. So this is Dr. Kee. I'm signing off. I hope to hear from you again. Also, if there's a topic that you want to hear, please put it in the thread in the comments or email me at drrayvannkee, the number 2, at gmail.com. That's DRRAY, V as in Victor, ANNKEE, the number 2 at gmail.com. I would love to address whatever issues you may have in your mind, in your heart, you've been thinking about. Let's do this. I'm excited about it, and hopefully we can just go up from here. So I'll be talking to you soon. February 26th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kee Elements. Let's talk about it, and I'll see you then. Take care.